there, and welcome back, and we are in the nature room, because I have been mining up a bunch of sand in preparation for the next stage of this world, but we still have one task to do before that, and part of that was... ouch. Part of that was to get these mob heads. So you'll see now I have all of the mob heads in place, just a bit more of an indicator for what each floor is, and that one was already there. And we've got the zombie head, and we have another skeleton head, and I'm still missing one, which I'm not sure how I'm going to go about getting this witch head, because in order to get that, I actually need to kill a witch manually, and they don't drop them very often. So maybe we'll leave that one for now. But the reason I got these mob heads, as you would have guessed, is because now I have a second trident. And funnily enough, I've only killed like 4 trident drowns in this world, so I've been super lucky. And I just went through and killed a few drowned, and I'm on 25 now. So to have 2 tridents after that is incredible, to be honest. So I just wanted to play a little clip of me killing those, because even though my level is quite high, I have had a couple of days off of the game, and I have just been basically AFKing at the gold farm. I actually did lose my other 600 levels, so yeah, I mean, I've done some AFKing in here, and I've done some AFKing at the gold farm. So let's jump to me using the trident to get some mob heads now. Right, I have so many chickens in here now. So many, in fact, that they keep looping back round. So let's see, 403. Oh no, they seem to be dying. Well, that's not good. I think I am entity cramming them. So let's just get on with this. And one escaped. Let me out. Let's see how many wither roses I get. And I have my smite sword made up. And they didn't even all die. No, come back. Oh no, my end is going to be filled with chickens. No. Now I did this because I need a wither star, or a nether star, because I want to add a chunk loader. I think that should be just about enough for, obviously, when I make a wither skeleton farm. And I've just set this guy off. I've set off 2 of them. So I had 7 boxes of eggs, and I got about 400 chickens from that, and apparently I only got 270 wither roses because a bunch of them didn't die. I think that's enough shenanigans for the start of one episode, and unfortunately something has happened. Do you notice anything missing from this box? Yes. I am absolutely ashamed to call myself a Star Wars fan. How on earth did I forget about Chewie? This is unbelievable.
This is outrageous.
And it is going to be quite literally a fatal mistake, because now we're going to have to say goodbye to the 703 levels, because now I need to blow myself up. What an idiot. But I don't really mind. I'm going to be getting a lot more levels anyway, and now I can show you guys exactly how this works. Ah. I'm a double idiot. How did I manage that? How did I do that? I actually can't believe I've just done that. I need to watch that back again and see what I did wrong. That's that's really bad. Oh dear. I'm just glad it didn't blow my bed up, to be honest. Let's try that again, shall we? So you place the TNT, you light it on fire, you stand next to it, and you take your armour off first. That would be useful. I moved the chest because I haven't checked yet, but I have a feeling that it might have got caught on the lip. Okay, blow me up, please. There we go, and I spawn right in this spot. And I'm going to put these away. And I can just keep doing this. As long as I pick everything up, I don't need to worry about the heads dropping. And it picks it up fairly quickly. So basically, if you need to kill yourself repeatedly to get a player head, this is a pretty effective way to do it. Right, now it's time to move on to making up these characters and placing them all around my build to give some life here. And I think we're going to start over in this corner, as there's something that I would like to try out in order to do the Force ghosts. Now obviously they're ghosts, so it's quite difficult to show that transparency unless you use glass, and this one could be quite complicated and will be some good practice for the rest of the builds. And obviously the player heads for those aren't exactly transparent, but they have that element of blue to them, which is why I've picked the blue and white glass. So let's jump in and start building those, and we'll see how they look once I've got one set up. So a little bit of progress on the first armor stand, and you can see I've got a little bit of something going here. Unfortunately, the leggings have knee pads, which is a bit annoying, but I can't really do much about that. And I've just started placing in some glass blocks. I did have to adjust a couple of these. You can also see I have this glass pane here, and I actually used the small armor stand for that. I just had to do some adjustments just to get the other half of it hidden inside the head. And honestly, I think it's coming together really nicely, but I'm not so sure about the cape right now. For example, these top two blocks were actually a few pixels too far forwards, so it looked a bit messy. And the way I had to fix that, and if anyone else uses the armor stand mod, is you actually just have to basically go in, unlock one of them, and then you can move that one out of the way. And as long as you move it in a consistent direction, if I move it out of the way, you can see, oh no, it's messy now, but you can actually just move it directly back because it's precise locations and it goes exactly where it was. So the best thing to do if you need to correct one block is just unlock them one by one and move them out of the way and lock them in a different place and repeat that process. So I'm just going to finish off the cape now. After a bit more playing about here, I ended up adding in some brown concrete because the glass, if you can see, on the right side is just too see-through, so you can't really tell that there's a cape there. However, if I put the brown concrete underneath the glass, it still gives that ghosty impression whilst not being see-through, and you can see it and it kind of matches with the head. And I also put some glass panes in front of the body and the legs because that just helps to give it that impression of being a ghost rather than just solid blocks. But this is taking up a lot of armor stands. I'm already on like 27 and I still need to do the cape on the side here and fill in the back as well. I'm not too worried about the back. I also did put a blue glass pane here and it was showing just sort of up to his eye with this blue glow almost, and it looked really cool, but for some reason it moved and it's locked now, so I don't know why it's moved, and I can't move every single armor stand now. I've done too many. I've done too many to sit here moving these armor stands just for the sake of this, so I'll just leave that as it is. But let's get to finishing off this cape and see how my first Jedi Force Ghost actually turns out when it's finished. Oh dear, I think I've made a discovery that is going to look a lot better, which I think instead of the brown glass, I should put white glass over it because it will still show the brown through it, but it gives that hollow feeling as well. But I've started adding blocks around, and also I gave him a little belt, so it's definitely coming along. But now I am going to go through and change all of these brown glass blocks for white glass blocks, which is going to be not fun. But once it's done, it should look a lot better. I just wanted to show you guys this because I thought it was quite funny. After I moved a few, I was able to move him, and it just looks quite funny just seeing the cape there separate. But yeah, let me jump back to moving all of these about. A large amount of time later, and I have moved everything out and finished off the cloak in the concrete. I added a little bit for the hood here. Maybe I could add a small armor stand here for a black concrete to have a bit of a gap in the hood, And I'm just deciding if I want to go with the white or the blue. And I think the white is better. The blue is a bit too much, so I think I'm just going to stick with the white. And now I have finished the first Jedi, and I am super happy with this. I mean, everything from the collar to the belt and the cloak. Obviously, there's a little bit of messiness here with the blocks that I've placed, and there's some bits sticking through, and it could be better. However, other than the small Ewoks I did in the houses, which didn't require a lot of blocks, for example, I haven't done anything like this before. So considering this is my first attempt, I'm actually really happy with it. And if I just go into spectator mode, you can see just how many armor stands I've used on this. That is ridiculous. And it almost kind of removes the cloak. So this is the first one done, and I've even got a little hood for him there as well. So now I need to make the other two Force Ghosts, and the reason I started with this is because I knew that this would be the most involved in terms of blocks, so I figured it would be good to practice on. And I will say that I went through and changed back to the brown glass, because once I had put quite a lot of the white on, it was really kind of covering up the cloak and it didn't look very good. And I think the brown, now that it's finished, does look better. So yeah, basically I took this apart like 3 times, and to build this has taken me about 4 hours, to be honest. There was a lot of playing about, a lot of practice, but now I know what I'm doing. Let's get on with the next 2, and we can move on to some more armor stands. So here I am, trying to add some ears to my Yoda figure, and there is an item. It's exactly Yoda's ear. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I'm just sitting here laughing to myself about how good that is for Yoda's ear. Unfortunately, there's not a blue kelp, because that would have worked out a lot better. I think I'll just put some glass in front of it or on it. But that's unreal. How it's exactly like his ear. If you've ever wondered what Chewbacca would look like as a Jedi, I fit right into the robe here. That's quite funny. So now the Force Ghosts are done, which I'm quite happy with them. The Anakin one did come out a bit smoother, obviously, after I'd had a bit of practice. Although maybe it's a bit too square, so I'm not sure which one I prefer. I mean, obviously, this is my first one, so I'm happy with this one the most. And this just looks a bit cleaner. As for Yoda down here, well, you know, the ears, they're not the right colour, but there's not much else I could use that would look as good in terms of shape, so I don't mind that, just as a one block that's the wrong colour. But now we need to add in Luke, and I was just thinking about where is best to add him in. And I'm thinking to put him here and have him kind of leaning on here, and then we can also put Leia just behind, leaning on him as she's calling him over to the party, and he's looking at the ghosts. They're a little bit close. I mean, I know Yoda's supposed to be sitting on a fence, but I could have, I guess, put them around here somewhere. So the reason I put them back here was because, obviously, we're going to do, like, the party area out here. I can't really fit it in front of this, so it's going to have to be in this area. So if I was to do it here and Luke was leaning on here, there's not really a lot of space. So I think we're going to have to accept that they're going to have to go back there, and you know, maybe I could just move them backwards and just have them more against the fence, and then Yoda can be sitting on the fence. And that would be a lot easier to do than moving them here. Moving them in one direction is completely fine. It takes a little while, but you can just unlock and move. When you start turning them, that's when, you know, these blocks are no longer going to line up properly, so you're basically redoing the whole thing. So let's just go grab some items to do the Luke and Leia. Right, so I got some black clothes for Luke, and I'm actually going to use boots this time. And what I want to do now, for the Force Ghosts, I made my own arms. For basically every other character, we're now going to start using the wooden arms. Just because, to be honest, if I had to do arms for every single character, it's going to take a long time. And we're going to hide the stand, or the base. Now, what we need is to have him leaning on the wall. So what can I do? So if I was to do something like this, and then we can now move his left arm. That has been the one thing that's been so annoying. All of this is trapdoors. So I just keep flicking my trapdoors when I'm not crouched. Yeah, there we go. And that's a lot simpler. And I would say Luke is basically done, but there is one more thing I wanted to add just for a bit of detail. So on his shirt, he actually has. Oh, I need to lock this one. What am I doing? Right, so that's locked in place now, and he looks like he's leaning. Now I need to put the arms. I'm going to put this carpet, and I'm going to use the pointing direction, and I need to make that invisible. And we're going to take the gravity off. There we go. That's what we wanted. And it's already kind of angled forward. So now if I can get this into his shirt, and I didn't turn the gravity off. Nice. That's actually the first time that's happened. So I might need to do the small armor stand to make it fit a bit better. Yes, there we go. There we go. The folded part of the shirt is in. And I think that's the only detail I need. Although, now that I think about it, there is one other thing that I can do. So with this data pack that gives me the lightsaber, or actually it's a texture pack, there is something else you can do. So if I take a stick here, and I have one level, luckily, after I blew up my place. Now, I can't remember the name. So now, when you rename a stick, it actually gives you the lightsaber, but the unlit version. So now I should be able to put this on his hip, which would be quite cool. And we just want to move it forwards a little bit. Yes, there we go. He's got a little lightsaber on the back, the fold on the shirt. Excellent. And that was significantly easier, much quicker to do. So now I think we can smash through a lot of the ones around here, and then we will move on to the next platform. So now I have Luke and Leia in, and also C-3PO and R2-D2. Look at these guys. This is so cool, man. Oh, I'm so happy with that. Look at this R2-D2. I used some grindstones in there for the joints. The only thing is the bottom. I tried putting the quartz slabs, and they just didn't quite line up right. But I didn't want to remove them. It was a lot of effort to remove. You know, we've got the carpets in there for the lines. We've got the blast furnace and a couple of carpet blocks on the side. And oh, I'm so happy with this. And even the C-3PO, you see he's got the circle on his chest. That's because I used the eye armor trim. And I used it with the gold trim. And I used just some other random trims to give some texture onto the legs as well. And the arms were, I mean, I struggled a bit, but from a distance, they stick out a little bit, but they look fine. And this is really starting to come together as a scene here. But oh, this R2-D2, look at that. Oh, I'm so happy with that. And the first scene is finished. So let's go take a look over at what we've got here with these guys. So we ended up putting all of the main characters and a bunch of Ewoks around. And look at that, Chewie's little belt there. That looks really cool with the grindstones and kind of a name tag. I didn't use the full-size TNT. I actually used the mini block. And sometimes these mini blocks actually work out better. Ooh. Because, for example, this is a mini block. And rather than having too much detail on the texture, it just looks like a couple of strings of rope. Obviously, I'm very happy with the R2. Han Solo even has his yellow stripes on his trousers there and his white sleeves as well. And obviously, we've seen all of this earlier. So this is now one finished scene, and I'm super happy with this. This is really cool. I'm really happy with how it's came out. And you may have also noticed what I have in my hotbar. And I'm sure you can take a guess if you've seen the film, which scene is next. So this is the Never area. And I figured that would be the best place to put this. It's a small scene, and this is the one I'm going to visit the least, and it's kind of hidden out the way at the back. So as you can guess, yes, this is where Darth Vader will be getting cremated. Well, I have finished Darth Vader's funeral here. I only put Luke there just with a stick, and I've got a little campfire in there. I think it looks quite cool, like the fire is just heating up, because obviously these fires are quite small compared to the one in the film. I also decided to go with the full-sized carpet this time, just to see how it looks. And I mean, it's up to you guys if you prefer that, or if you prefer the one over here. I do think the bigger one looks better, but for some reason I couldn't get it to work over here. So maybe I can try and change that, but it'd be a little bit difficult unlocking it. And you can see he's got a lightsaber as well, so that's obviously there. Well, also, I added some iron nuggets. Actually, the ones in the middle are full-size armor stands, and these ones are small stands to separate them, and obviously just a black glazed terracotta and a redstone torch on his chest, just to show a bit of a box there. And it's not exactly right, but I think it gives enough detail for you to know who this is. I also just put a couple of guys out the front here, and I kind of made them look a bit sad, like this is the sad area. But I also finished another section you can see over there, and I'm stuck. So this one is the Stormtrooper helmet drum set, and look at this guy here. He's got the little drumsticks, they're just levers, and I used some lightning rods because they were the best size, and I did try a couple of items for these sticks, but everything was just kind of the wrong size. I really wish the fences, when they were held in the hand, were just the one bar, but it's not. It's like 2 bars combined. So yeah, that's I'm happy with how that come out, and it looks like he's in the middle of playing, and you've got a couple of guys around here, all just, this guy's a bit confused. This one's starting to dance, and then we've got a little party going on near the campfire. Another young Ewok there, and I guess this guy's his dad looking, and maybe the mum, and then this guy's the weird uncle because he's green. And I have added in a few more down here, so we've got Leia and Luke on the speeder bikes, and he's got his lightsaber out. And this is actually the first lit lightsaber that I've used, which is quite cool. I'm looking forward to doing some of the actual lightsaber battle scenes, but there's nothing here really to do. And look at this guy. He's crashing into the wall. So this guy's gone splat on the wall, and then there's just another one up here. Navigating this forest is not fun. Yeah, so he's just sitting on it. I do realise that they're a bit small for it, but what can I do? As for the actual Empire base, we've got quite a few guys in here now. So we've got a couple manning the computers. This guy's bossing this guy around. And I only did a gun on one of them. But actually what I did for these guns was I used the Ezra Bridger lightsaber unlit and the Darksaber unlit, combined with a Nether brick fence. And I do have on my texture packs for the Nether brick to be darker, so it's more of a black colour. And we just got some guys coming out of the tunnel down here. I think it looks quite cool. Looks like they're mobilising, getting ready for an attack. And I just added a few up here as well. So these guys are just kind of working on the station, and they've got their guns on their back. Same thing again with those 3 items. This guy is fixing one of the probes, and this guy over here he's looking a bit confused. He's scratching the back of his head. He doesn't know how to open these boxes. And the final 2 armor stands that I added in, I added a couple down here. So these guys are swinging to make this would smash into the walker, and I just thought that was a nice little touch. However, I do have the one last area to do, and I think I need a little break from doing these armor stands. It's been a few days, many hours of me doing these. I mean, Obi-Wan alone took me 4 hours. I was obviously getting used to using the armor stands, so I'm going to do this area a bit later in the episode. Right now, I've actually built all of these flying things and all these things in the air, and this whole time I should have really gone to get something to help me with that. So I think I'm going to go on a little bit of an adventure now and go do some exploring.
Adventure. Excitement. Jedi craves not these things. You are reckless. That place is strong, but the dark side of the Force, a domain of evil it is. And you must go.
I'm not afraid.
You will be. You will be.
Can't see anything. Kinda need to kill one of these guys for his head, but... What? You can get skeleton heads down here? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. I'll go for it.
No weapons. You will not need them.
I can't even see this guy. This is nuts. Now, what did I just lose in the hole? A mending book, yeah? Alright. Yes! Jeez. Right, I've got enough. It's time to get out. Now, how do I go about getting out? Ah! Whoa, that was close. Have I gone mad? Absolutely not. I couldn't be bothered just crafting these up all the time. Just made a box because my chest supply is coming along very nicely. That is a lot of my iron I just used, but hopefully I won't have to make any more of them for a while, and then I can make a bigger iron farm, and then we won't have any issues. Have you worked out what this scene's going to be yet? I mean, if you can't get it off of this clue, then you probably haven't seen the film. Well, I just ran out of armor stands from that entire shulker box I had. With good reason, though. So now we have everyone's tied up here. You've got C-3PO floating on the chair, R2 on the sticks, and we've got Luke and Chewie in the back there, and Han hanging upside down on there. So all I need to do in this area is just the Ewoks, and I'm going to put Leia over in the corner over here. Oh, stuck on him. I'm going to put her over here as if she's coming out of the room. And then that will be done. And now all of the scenes are finished. This base is finished. I've actually done the first base, completely finished up, and I'm really happy with how it's come out. So now it is time to move on to the Tatooine area. But first, let's just go take a look at this last scene one more time, since I've just finished up the rest of it now. And, you know, we've got Han Solo hanging upside down, and Luke and Chewie hanging here. This guy's about to set him on fire, and I've got all these Ewoks running away from C-3PO, and I just love how R2-D2 is tied up with ladders, of all things, because I was just sitting in one of my chests looking at items thinking, what could I use for a rope to go around him? And this just had that texture on the edge for me to do that. And, you know, we've obviously got this guy here pointing his stick again, and Leia's coming out saying, wait, they're my friends. So I am kind of happy to be finished with it, to be honest. I mean, when you worked on the same area for a long time, and you know, you start wanting to move on to other things, and I ended up going and building quite a few farms over the course of this, just to do something a bit different. But now I have some cool ideas coming up for the Tatooine area, so I think that will be all for this episode, and we will start fresh in the next episode, looking into converting this from this purple mushroom ugly thing into, you know, the best item, of course, sand. We're going to be covering this area in sand, and yeah, I've got some great ideas coming up, and we'll see how that goes in the next episode. But if you enjoyed this, I know it was a bit of a odd episode compared to what I normally do. I don't really have many time lapses in this. It was all just these armor stands, and I didn't want to just put me just sitting in there clicking the book, clicking the book, clicking the book, placing a stand, placing an item, clicking the book the entire episode. So I was kind of just jumping through the builds and it did take a long time to do some of these. I mean, this first R2-D2, I said it was a bit rough, like the feet and even the head's a bit rough. And then you can see just from doing it once, now coming to this one's much cleaner. I even had space to fit in 2 grills, which he should have. The feet came out a lot better, the head's lined up, and the blue lines are higher up. And I think this one was a lot better, and overall, being able to get this guy to lay down was quite difficult as well. So I think the building has come along, or the using the armor stand book has come a long way, and I'm really happy with these as well. These quite cool how they're all angled. But yeah, that's all. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in Tatooine.